generation introduces a fresh wave of talent, with some standing out more than others due to their amateur backgrounds. With height comes high expectations, which can either propel them forward or hinder the progress. In today's world, where instant gratification is prevalent, we've nearly lost our sense of patience. We often expect fighters to bypass essential steps and jump straight into the lion's den. This rush can lead to a developmental misstep that could have been refined through a more gradual, step-by-step approach. After just 3 years as a professional, Olympic silver medalist Ben Whitaker bypassed the typical path of gradual development, such as pursuing a domestic Commonwealth title. Despite having only reached the 10th round once in his career against jobbers who were there for the sake of highlight reel footage, Whitaker made a significant leap in his 9th pro fight by facing Liam Cameron, a seasoned veteran who had been in the professional boxing scene since 2009. Cameron, a former Commonwealth middleweight champion, previously battled tooth and nail against former world title challenger Lennon Arthur. Before we understand what went wrong in the initial bout, we must understand both boxer style. Ben Whitaker is known for his slick, technical boxing style. As an amateur standout, he developed a style characterized by quick footwork, sharp reflexes, and precise punching. He often uses his agility and defensive skills to outmaneuver opponents, relying on speed and accuracy rather than sheer power. Liam Cameron, on the other hand, is often described as a tough and rugged fighter with a more straightforward, aggressive approach. He tends to apply pressure on his opponents behind a tight high guard, using his experience and durability to wear them down. Cameron's style is typically more conventional, focusing on strength and endurance to gain upper hand in the ring. There was no question prior to the fight that Ben Whitaker was the far superior technical boxer. The real challenge lied in how he would perform against a big, sturdy middleweight who could withstand his punches and back him up. It was a test of grit and heart. Cameron adopted a high guard strategy, moving in close and staying in the pocket to remain within striking distance. This forced Whitaker to fend him off, gradually wearing down his stamina, while Cameron would steadily pick up the pace as the rounds progressed. Unlike his previous bouts, Whitaker approached this fight with a serious demeanor, showing respect for Cameron by avoiding any showboating. With the clear speed advantage, Whitaker opted to box from the outside, using his jab to keep Cameron at bay and preventing him from settling into the pocket. He continued to pepper Cameron without fully committing to his punches, as he waited for Cameron to open up while looking to counter.
But Whitaker in the arms, that's the shot already I've seen for Whitaker. That full counter of his right hand.
I felt like a failure, and I'm constantly trying to avenge that disappointment.
Nice jab, it's a variation of the shot. Upstairs with my left hook will work.
In the second round, control becomes the central theme as Cameron begins to pick up the pace, driving a powerful jab behind his high guard. This forces Whitaker to put more power into his punches. While Cameron's high guard remains static, it effectively allows him to close ground.
Ben Whitaker, just his second 10-round fight as a professional, the most experienced opponent of his career.
Jabbing his way into the pocket and unloading once he closes the gap. This round is telling because it reveals that Whitaker lacks the power to deter Cameron. Like this, Whitaker chooses to fight for control rather than using movement to fight off his back foot. This marks a significant moment in Whitaker's career, as it's the first time an opponent shows no respect to his punching power. With each passing second, Cameron inches closer, eventually closing in, landing shots.
There's a couple of rounds on there where both fighters can be happy, really. You see in here occasions where we've seen the few more hands be there with that lovely right hand chopping down for the shot.
In the third round, the fight intensifies as Whitaker fully commits to standing his ground and fending off Cameron. This level of pacing plays into the hands of a pressure fighter like Cameron, as he forces Whitaker to constantly punch to keep him at bay, leaving little room for recovery.
Only 9%. this fight. This is what you're trying to see from him.
Whitaker finds himself in a rapid cycle. If he's not punching, he's moving. If he's not moving, he's defending. Cameron, as a pressure fighter, methodically ramps up the intensity with each round, planning to shift into high gear in the second half of the fight when a boxer begins to tire.
Showboating so far for Ben Whitaker is all business. He's getting
Whitaker actually trying to add some pressure on Cameron there, and some good shots, but ultimately not maybe having the success that he normally has in fights. If he can miss with here tonight, and Cameron showing that experience.
The fourth round marked a pivotal shift in the fight. Whitaker, who had been averaging 57 punches in the first 3 rounds, saw his output drop to a fight low of 40 punches. Meanwhile, Cameron never lifted his foot off the gas, throwing 60 punches in this round. With his reduced punch output, Whitaker found himself being pushed back by the pressure fighter. Instead of relying on his movement, he chose to stay in a pocket and counter. This allowed Cameron to unload his combinations, while Whitaker's single counter punches had little impact on the bigger man.
promised to push the big nose off of Cameron's face.
He needs to fight a little bit more at distance, using the entirety of the ring. Not to say he can't win.
If I box as well as I can, this will be over.
The momentum carried into the 5th round, where Whitaker, instead of boxing and seeking counters, chose to trade punches with the brawler, despite his shots having little effect. The decision to engage in exchanges negated his greatest assets: speed, movement, and precision, and played directly into the brawler's strengths. By staying within range and trading in the pocket, Whitaker allowed Cameron to land the more impactful shots. The momentum had clearly shifted in Cameron's favor, and it seemed likely he would maintain this pace for the remaining 5 rounds. Then we all know what happened next, which could be seen as Whitaker looking for an easy way out.
From Cameron again.
Here, Whitaker, a real fight. Cameron really growing him.
And Whitaker stood there and took it. Fall off.
It's too easy to hit him.
Be educated about. He's getting hit.
When you're young and filled with confidence, it's tempting to become the showman you believe the world anticipates. In this quest to dazzle, one can easily lose sight of the foundational principles that pave the current path. The desire to prove one's worth can overshadow the quiet strength of humility, leading to a burden of expectation that rests heavily on his shoulders. Cameron is a straightforward fighter, but his strength lies in his ruggedness and his ability to navigate inside the pocket to unsettle a boxer. In this upcoming rematch, if Whitaker doesn't adjust his strategy, the outcome is unlikely to change, as the fight would have worsened if it had continued onto the 6th. And speed and precision are your strengths. It's crucial to leverage your movement to exploit your weaknesses of a flat-footed fighter, rather than engaging in a brawl with the brawler. It's about using your skill set to your advantage, not hindering yourself into the opponent's hands.